In a modern city lived a woman named Emily. She was the embodiment of meticulousness and precision. Emily was the kind of person who color-coded her calendar, alphabetized her spice rack, and couldn't stand a single crease on her bedsheet. To Emily, perfection wasn't a goal, it was a way of life. From her meticulously planned work presentations to her flawlessly decorated home, Emily had mastered the art of control in every aspect of her existence. She believed that life was a puzzle, and with enough care and precision, she could solve every piece, fitting them together into a perfect whole. But little did she know that her relentless pursuit of perfection was about to be challenged. Every morning, Emily's day began with a meticulously planned routine. She woke up at precisely 6:30 a.m., practiced yoga for 30 minutes, followed by a healthy breakfast of oatmeal, blueberries, and a precise amount of almond milk. Her wardrobe was organized by color and season, and she never wore the same outfit twice in a month. Her work desk was a model of orderliness, with every document labeled, every pen in its designated holder, and not a single stray paperclip in sight. Her friends admired her for her attention to detail, and her colleagues envied her ability to meet deadlines with such flawless execution. But as the days turned into weeks and the weeks into months, Emily felt an invisible weight pressing down on her. The need for perfection began to suffocate her. The more she strived for it, the more unattainable it seemed. The once satisfying order now felt like a prison. One fateful afternoon, Emily decided to take a detour from her usual path. She needed a break from her meticulously planned life, if only for a moment. As she wandered down unfamiliar streets, she stumbled upon a hidden gem, nestled among the towering skyscrapers, a serene Buddhist temple. The temple's entrance beckoned her with its intricate architecture and vibrant reds and golds. The scent of incense wafted through the air, carrying a sense of calm that Emily had long forgotten. She hesitated for a moment before stepping inside. Inside the temple, a sense of tranquility enveloped Emily. She gazed in awe at the intricately painted murals and the gentle glow of lanterns. Her footsteps echoed softly as she explored further, eventually leading her to a courtyard where a Buddhist monk in saffron robes was tending to a small garden. The monk, with a serene smile, looked up and greeted Emily with a nod. Intrigued by his presence, Emily struck up a conversation. She learned that his name was Master Koji, and he had dedicated his life to the teachings of Buddhism. Over a cup of fragrant tea, Master Koji shared the wisdom of impermanence with Emily. He explained how nothing in life was permanent, and the pursuit of perfection was a futile endeavor. Life is like the changing seasons, he said. Just as spring turns into summer, and summer into autumn, nothing remains the same. Imperfection is the essence of life. As Emily listened to Master Koji's words, something deep within her began to stir. She realized that her relentless pursuit of perfection was an attempt to control the uncontrollable, to grasp onto something that could never be held for long. Emily couldn't help but share her desire for perfection with Master Koji. She spoke of her need to make everything around her flawless and in control. The monk listened attentively and then smiled knowingly. "I can help you on your quest for perfection," he offered. "But there is one condition." Emily's eyes lit up with anticipation. "Name it," he said, eager to prove herself. Master Koji paused, then said, "I want you to make a flower bloom out of season." Emily's excitement deflated like a balloon. She had expected a task, but this seemed impossible. "But how can I make a flower bloom out of season? It goes against the laws of nature." The monk nodded. "Exactly. Perfection is often like trying to make a flower bloom out of season, a pursuit that leads to frustration and disappointment. But if you can accept this task and its inherent imperfection, you will find the wisdom you seek." Determined to prove her worth and armed with her perfectionist mindset, Emily embarked on her impossible task. She researched endlessly, trying various methods to coax a flower into blooming out of season. She adjusted the temperature, manipulated the soil, and even played classical music to the plant. Days turned into weeks, and Emily's frustration grew. She watched the flower's leaves wilt and its petals fall, despite her best efforts. She felt defeated, crushed by the weight of her own expectations. It was on one particularly disheartening day that Emily returned to the temple, tears of frustration in her eyes. Master Koji welcomed her with a compassionate smile. He said, "Emily, have you realized that despite your best efforts, you cannot make the flower bloom out of season?" Emily nodded, her shoulders slumped. "I thought I could control everything, make everything perfect. But it's impossible." The monk placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "Life is filled with imperfections. Just as you couldn't make the flower bloom out of season, there are things beyond our control. Embracing imperfection is the path to inner peace." With time, Emily began to see the beauty in imperfection. She noticed how life's quirks, flaws, and unpredictabilities made it unique and meaningful. She saw that the most cherished moments were the spontaneous ones, the ones she could never have planned for. She started to find joy in the spontaneous laughter of children in the park, in the unpredictability of a summer rain shower, and in the warm, messy chaos of a potluck dinner with friends. Life became an adventure, full of surprises waiting to be discovered. As Emily continued to visit the temple and learn from Master Koji, a transformation became evident to those around her. She no longer stressed over the minutiae of life, but instead, she embraced its beautiful messiness. Her relationships deepened as she learned to accept her friends and loved ones, flaws and all. She became more patient, more compassionate, and more understanding. Her colleagues admired her newfound serenity, and her friends cherished her presence even more. Years passed, and Emily's life had transformed in ways she could never have imagined. She was no longer the rigid perfectionist woman who had walked into the temple that fateful day. She had become a person who saw the world with open eyes and an open heart. Every so often, she still visited Master Koji at the temple, not in search of perfection, but to express her gratitude for the wisdom he had shared. She had learned that life's beauty lay not in its flawless execution, but in its imperfect, unpredictable, and ever-changing nature. And so the story of Emily teaches us that the pursuit of perfection can be a relentless and ultimately unfulfilling endeavor. It is in embracing life's imperfections that we find true contentment and joy. Just as a flower cannot be forced to bloom out of season, so too must we let go of our need for control and perfection and learn to appreciate the beauty of life's natural flow. In the end, it is the imperfect moments, the unexpected surprises, and the spontaneous laughter that make life truly perfect in its own unique way.